Okay, so we look at Ghost Recon Wildlands at 21:9, and specifically its 21:9 support. The beta was a beautiful surprise, and the full game has continued to be great fun to play, though certainly with some areas that I'm not completely happy with, but that said, there is a lot to talk about for this title, so if you want to see my full thoughts on the game, then check them out in the video linked in the description, or head over to my website, and again, it'll be linked in the description. Here I want to focus on the technical side of the game, how it supports 21:9 and such. So beautifully, things haven't really changed from the beta, which is lovely as the beta was very solid in its ultra-wide support. Gameplay correctly shows off more on the sides of the screen at 21:9, and the in-game FOV slider for extended views of the world works perfectly at ultra-wide resolutions as well. The slider is large too, so it should facilitate making anyone's gameplay experience perfect, though sadly this FOV change only affects third person. First person is still resigned to the standard game FOV and cannot be manipulated, which is a shame. The drone and binoculars also have ultra-wide views, they don't stick black bars on the sides in these moments. The HUD shifts to the sides of the screen beautifully out of the way for the most part, but sadly there are still bits of the HUD like the XP information on the right hand side that stick to the 16:9 edge of the screen space. I just wish that was shoved out of the way completely to the right. The HUD though does allow for lots of customization and can be pretty much totally turned off, giving you a lovely view of the world without icons etc, cluttering it up if you want as immersive an experience as possible. Also, screen effects like taking damage stretch to use the entire screen space, but it works well, and also information pop-up screens on how a certain gameplay mechanic works. These fade the game world scene behind that you're looking at and places the tiles on top, but they correctly fade the extra 21:9 screen space, so yeah, it works perfectly. Cutscenes are both 16:9 and 21:9. Pre-rendered background information ones are 16:9 with black bars. However, the in-game story ones, well, they're all story, but these ones are as you progress forward instead of information on the past. They're ultra-wide, which is lovely. Though, like people have pointed out, the lip syncing could have been better. The main menu and in-game menus are all ultra-wide, with the smoky background scene extending to use the entire screen space, but the actual menu elements remaining locked to 16:9. This applies to the map, loading screens, and customization screens as well. Performance-wise, things have somewhat improved from the beta, but only very marginally. The game still does not run very well. This is not me expecting to run ultra settings on a GTX 980 Ti at 3440x1440 or some BS. No, this is me expecting to be able to have the game look better than it does when there are a multitude of other open world games that run better than this and look better than this does at the same time. I have everything on its lowest possible settings here, however just bumped up lighting to low and SSBC in order to make the game look somewhat presentable. But even with these extremely low settings, I was dipping into the low 50s often, which is a shame because this game is absolutely goddamn beautiful when the graphics settings are much higher. When I get my hands on the GTX 1080 Ti over the next few weeks, I'll do an update video to this looking at the game and how it runs on that card to see what settings we can achieve to stay over 60 FPS at 3440x1440, but for now my 980 Ti is struggling big time. A big change I noticed from the beta was my load times dropped from being very long to extremely fast. Now, yes, this is due to my switching from having the game on a hard drive over to an SSD, however, I do wonder if Ubisoft hasn't done a few performance upgrades in this department since the beta. It is very possible. That said, the game does occasionally struggle to load back in if you die. It can take 2 to 3 minutes sometimes to load back in, which does feel like a small bug that can be fixed. I should also note that whilst the SSD has helped the loading in of textures as you move about, they are still very noticeable as you look around. Obviously this is exacerbated by the low settings, but it is still an issue to be aware of. But yeah, overall, performance is pretty good. I don't have any real issues with anything here. One little thing which kind of applies to a number of parts of the game, and that's the general glitchiness to some things. For example, the switching scopes animation has your hands all over the place, clipping through the scope model, and things like your teammates glitching out of the car when it's rolled over, and also driving vehicles into water just has them float on the surface and not sink to the bottom as if they're buoyant somehow. But yeah, none of this stuff was really overly frustrating or annoying, but I noticed it nonetheless. It's just some rough edges. Overall, I'm going to give it a WideAsFcuk score of 4. Whilst I gave the beta a 3, I feel that I might have been a bit too harsh on it then, as it really does play very well at 21:9, and really cutscenes are the only serious issue within. Anyway, if you want to see my full thoughts on the game, then check out that video linked in the description, or just head over to my channel or website and it'll be there. I hope that gives you some information on how the game runs at 21:9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21:9, head over to my channel or the WideAsFcuk website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description, and Amazon affiliate links are there too. See you later.
Escort destroyed. They're trying to get away in the truck. The rail team's making a run for it.
Objective secure. It's clear out. We'll pass word to the rebels to come get the radio gear.
Pakatari's got some brass ones, I'll give him that. Give that fucker an inch and he'll take a mile.
If he...
Hold up, we got hostile activity.
Drone is airborne. I see a second target.
I'm getting a position.
Moving to a good sight line.
Target marked.
Say the word.
Weapons free, weapons
Got
free.
one.
We're clear.
Quickly.
Let's go. Tango down.
We must have our time left. Let's keep moving.
Nice work. That should keep those Sicarios from sharing rebel positions.